Hi students, welcome to our lesson for today, software acquisition. Now let's try to understand exactly what software acquisition is by understanding the term acquisition. Now acquisition has to do with you acquiring or obtaining something, or either it can be an act of getting or receiving something. Now, for us to define software acquisition, it's simply acquiring softwares, methods by which softwares can be accessed, or act of getting something. In other words, different methods or way of acquiring softwares or system. Now, let me try to give you a scenario just for you to understand exactly what we are talking about. Now, let's say that you are working for a company called ABC. Now, this company wants a COVID-19 system to be used in the organization. This is just an example. Now, your boss will come to you and say, Thomas, we want a COVID-19 system. How do we get it running? How do we get this COVID-19 system? Then this is where software acquisition comes in. So you tell your boss that, boss, we have 3 methods on how to acquire this COVID-19 system. Number 1, we can either buy a ready-made software or a ready-made COVID-19 software or system, right? Or we can either, right, source it from other different companies to develop it for us, okay? Number 3, we can either develop it ourselves, which is in-house development, right? So in other words, with in-house development, you bring all the IT personnel, the developers, the graphic designers to develop this COVID-19. Or either you source for a company, right, that develops systems and they develop it for your company. Or you can either buy it. So this is the whole scenario of software acquisition. Just different methods on how to acquire softwares. Now, having that said and hoping that you do understand exactly what we are talking about, let's try to get into depth. So it says that acquiring software, a company or organization has 3 basic ways of acquiring, which is the same as getting software. Number 1, buy it from some external source, all right? Number 2, buy it and customize by modifying it. Number 3, develop it themselves, which is the same as in-house development. All right, be up there below, it also says that some of these 3 methods are more appropriate for different organizations and for different types of softwares. So these whole methods that we see here, they differ organization to organization. It depends on the requirements of the organization. Now let's try to look at the 3 main important types of acquiring softwares. Number 1, we have in-house development. Number 2, we have package purchasing, which is also known as off-the-shelf packages. Number 3, we have custom developed software, which is also known as customized standard software. Now let's start off with us understanding in-house development. Just like it's saying the word itself, in-house, inside the house. With in-house development, it has to do with you developing the software yourselves, meaning the organization might be having an IT sector and they develop the software in the house. In other words, with in-house, it has to do with software development process that is run by the organization itself, right? For example, just like I said, a company which might have an IT sector will decide to develop its own digital product. In this case, the company will use their own software developers. Okay, so it's in-house, but it's not outsourced. So this is just an explanation of what we have said. In-house software is a software that is produced by a corporate entity for purpose of using it within the organization instead of relying on outsourcing. A firm uses its own employees and time to develop the software. Number 2, in-house software, however, may later become available for commercial use. Right, let us try to look at the advantages. Advantage number 1 says that the company will have full ownership of the final product. This is one of the advantages of you developing the system within the organization itself. You have full ownership of it, and as well as you have access to all the source code and the knowledge gained while developing it. Number two, it fits exactly to the business requirement of the company. I mean, when you are developing a system for your organization, it will fit all the requirements of the organization. Number three, it gives you full control over the system and its functionality. So that is number three, that is straightforward. Number four, it will allow you to differentiate from your competitors as the system is developed for your specific needs. This is very clear. I mean, if you develop an in-house system, it allows you to differentiate from your competitors, meaning that your system will be much more unique and it cannot be compared to your competitors. Now let's look at the disadvantages. Number one, it can be costly to maintain, very much costly. Like, in other words, it's very much expensive for you to maintain the system. It requires more IT personnel, which actually obviously lead to you having to pay all these IT personnel that are developing the system. Number three, it has high switching cost. It's more expensive to change to newer technology. That is straightforward. Number four, it is more time consuming to develop an in-house IT system as opposed to buying it. In other words, it takes more time for you to develop than you buying a system. And number five, it has a high development and maintenance cost, just like we have explained. Now let's look at the second method, which is called package purchasing, which is also the same as off-the-shelf packages. Excuse my age is missing. It's not self, but it's shelf. Now with off-the-shelf packages, very straightforward. Off the shelf. This mainly requires you to just go to the shop. That can either be an online shop or just a physical shop and buy the software. Meaning that that software has already been developed or designed. So it's just a matter of you going and buying it. All right. So in other words, it's already made and it's available for sale, and it's mainly available to the general public. So anybody else can buy it. For example, we have Microsoft Office, which is a packaged software solution for all businesses. Okay. Advantages. Number one, initially cheaper, very cheaper, right? It's very cheaper than you developing, trust me, right? Number two, it's quick implementation. Most systems are ready to use straight away. I mean, it's just a matter of you buying it and then you install it and then boom, it's working. Number three, online guides and forums to support your users. In case if the users do not understand certain things, they can just go online and get the guides and forums. Number four, regular upgrades are available every single time. Disadvantages. Number one, expensive or impossible to change. It can be expensive at some times. For example, if you might want an extra feature on that software, it's impossible for you to add it because it does not belong to you. Number two, unnecessary features and functionality. It's like when you're buying a ready-made software, you might find extra functionalities that you might not want to make use of. So you might just have them hanging there. Upgrade and support can be very costly. Limit your control on how your business operates. Absolutely. It was not designed for your business. It was designed for almost all the other businesses out there. So it might have more features that does not probably benefit you, although it might have few features that might benefit your organization. So it limits your control on how your business operates. Now let's look at the last one, which is custom developed software or a tailor-made software. Now with tailor-made software, this is a process of design, all right, creating, deploying softwares for a specific set of users, functions or organizations, and this can be developed in-house or either it can be outsourced. All right, so just like we have explained, it's a software that is specially developed for some specific organization or other user. It's performed by in-house development or outsourced to a third party to develop it for your organization. Advantages: Ensure that your software will be able to handle all your daily processes, definitely. When you have software that is designed to do exactly what you want to do, it helps make your day easier. Absolutely. Number 3, it's flexible. Custom software can be scaled according to the changing needs of the company. It's very much flexible. Custom software also offers more security with minimal chances of intrusions. For example, the hackers might not find it easier for them to hack in your system because they are not familiar with the system. Disadvantages: very costly. It's very, very much costly. So that's one of the disadvantages of the tailor-made. So you can go further and research on more disadvantages. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a certain quiz that you all have to make sure that you complete, and all students will be writing a test. Thank you very much.